Why, hello there, everybody. How are you doing today? It's me again. And again, I'm here to bring you yet another update on my personal situation. And today's update is the same as all previous updates. My phone has not rung. And still today, I say with all confidence, with all boldness, with all assurances, and with all faith, that my phone has not rung. Yet. Because it's going to ring. You see, the criminals have run out of road. Both the criminals that I've been dealing with, as well as the criminals up in Washington, D.C. And yes, we're about to see a whole lot of cuffing, a whole lot of stuffing going on all across this great country. Folks, stop dealing with the distractions. Stop dealing with the rabbit trails. Stop running down rabbit trails. And what are the rabbit trails? The rabbit trails are deliberate. They are deliberately set up to make you forget about the original threat, the real threat. Give you something of inconsequential. You see, you can resolve a rabbit trail, but the threat still remains because the threat's still sitting in there. But now my situation is going to be over and done with because I have refused to go down any rabbit trails. Again, how simple is my situation? This simple, folks. It's this simple. Y'all seen this before. I've shown this to you before. This is my official criminal history report from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Okay? And it's real simple. Okay? This 2009 supposed traffic offense arrest. It does not exist. They cannot produce it. It doesn't exist. Meaning it's a lie, meaning because it's listed here, it's a criminal act. Criminal action under color of law. Simulated legal process is what that is. The next thing, this 2000 arrest. This 2000 arrest, you see the date right there, 2000 arrest for soliciting for prostitution, attempted, whatever that is, as well as for, you're reading it, contempt of court. That document doesn't exist either. It's a lie. It does not exist. Period. Period. Now, the last one, this 1997, 12/3, 1997, arrest listing. Supposed arrest for lewd or lascivious act, sexual battery, as well as for soliciting for prostitution. That also does not exist. They cannot produce it, meaning it's a lie, meaning it is a crime. I just showed you 3 crimes. Why are these three things listed here? It's a rabbit trail. Because the reality is, did something happen on 12/3/1997? Yes. But before I tell you what happened, let me tell you this. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, no law enforcement office anywhere in the United States of America can produce a document that says that I, Kerry Joseph Nelson, was ever or has ever been arrested for committing any type of crime. Because, well, I have never been arrested for committing any type of crime because, hello, I'm not a criminal. I'm not a criminal. I don't commit crime. I am a called minister of the gospel. I preach. Okay? Now, the reason why all these things are listed this way is simply because, well, something did happen on 12/3/1997. What happened? I was falsely detained, /imprisoned. I was then kidnapped, and then I was then held for ransom by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, the 4th Circuit State Attorney's Office, and the 4th Circuit Circuit Court. Why? Well, because they prosecuted a kidnapping as if it was an arrest. Again, they cannot produce this document. because this never happened. That means this right here, my friends, is the crime. Period. Nor can they produce this 3-count of contempt of court, attempted, you're reading it, whatever that is, as well as soliciting for prostitution. Because it doesn't exist. Because it doesn't exist, then why does it listed there? Because I was kidnapped. I was falsely detained / imprisoned, kidnapped and held for ransom for a second time. And they cannot produce any kind of document that says that I committed even a traffic offense on 4/21/2009. Where's it at? Yep, 4/21/2009. Right there. They can't produce any kind of document, which means that's simulated legal process under color of law, is what that is. It's a felony. It's a criminal act. Now, why are all these things listed this way? To discredit me, to cover up the fact that I was on 12/3/1997 falsely detained / imprisoned, then kidnapped, and then held for ransom by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, the 4th Circuit State Attorney's Office, and by Taggart, the judge that set the ransom of $25,000, although they called it a bond. They prosecuted a kidnapping as if it was an arrest. Just to keep it simple. Again, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, no law enforcement office anywhere, can produce a document that says I was ever arrested. Ever. Why? Because I'm not a criminal. I have never committed criminal acts. Nothing. And that's their problem. Now, in order to cover up the fact that they were prosecuting a kidnapping as if it was an arrest, they had to do a few things. One, they had to get me out of the picture. They had to make sure that I thought that everything was over and done with and there was nothing else needed to be done. So what did they do? They had Charles Coffer impersonate a judge on December 15th, 1997, to me. Okay? So he impersonated a judge. Then they filed false paperwork. The very criminals, the same police officers, or criminals, they're criminals. Okay? The same people that abducted me, that falsely detained / imprisoned me, then kidnapped me, professed that what really happened was they arrested me for soliciting for prostitution. Bring out the document. They can't bring out the document. They can't even bring out a fake document, the one that they filed before the Honorable Mallory Cooper. But I'm gonna get to that. They can't go back in time and do it, because Almighty God makes sure that all their crimes, just like all the criminals up in Washington D.C., all of their crimes, they documented themselves. That's why they have all of these criminals are so stupid they document themselves committing the crime. Okay? So what happened? They filed the state attorney that filed that false arrest and booking report to and before the Honorable Mallory Cooper, and according to the court's record book, I was in court when there is no record of me even being in court, because they can't even produce an arrest and booking report that says that a crime was committed, because I have never been arrested for any kind of criminal act, because I'm not a criminal. She found me guilty, but and said that I was in court and pled no contest to a crime that they can't even bring forth a document on. It doesn't exist, because the crime never happened, because it was all part of a cover-up. Plain and simple. Okay? Now, the state attorney that filed those false papers, one Terrence Martin, is the very same Terrence Martin who in 2013 or 2012 made a plea deal with one Donald Smith, releasing Donald Smith from jail on May 31st, 2013, who then, only 21 days later, kidnapped, raped, and murdered 8-year-old Cherish Periwinkle. One little problem. By filing those false paperworks to and before the Fourth Circuit County Court, knowingly and willingly, simply to get the original criminals off the hook, he stopped being an attorney, meaning Terrence Martin did not have the authority or the jurisdiction to make any kind of plea deal with anybody. He should have been in jail. Because by filing all of those paperwork, what they've done is they have violated my first, fourth, 6th, 8th, and 14th United States constitutional rights. Shredded the Constitution. All to save their jobs. One little problem. For whatever reason, all of those documents got all of the documents, including the original proof that I was kidnapped, raped, and murdered, that I was falsely detained / imprisoned, as well as held for ransom, got filed. Because remember, the original filing was it was originally a felony. Well, it all got filed. They filed it. They created a case file. Okay? So, we come forward now to 2018. February 14th, the Donald Smith trial. Finally. And who's overseeing it? Why, the very same judge who has found me guilty, according to the court record book, of soliciting for prostitution, when there is no document anywhere that says that I've ever committed any type of crime, meaning it's a lie. So the Honorable Mallory D. Cooper now gets to find, and on February 14th, a jury of Donald Smith's peers found him guilty of kidnapping, raping, and murdering 8-year-old Cherish Periwinkle in a whopping 12 minutes. And as soon as the Honorable Mallory D. Cooper sentences him to death, which is what the jury recommended, which is what Donald Smith wants. Donald Smith doesn't want a retrial. He wants it over and done with. And they're all scared to death now, because as soon as Mallory D. Cooper sentences Donald Smith to death, what the Honorable Mallory D. Cooper is doing, at the very least, is finding everyone who is involved in this conspiracy to obstruct justice, everyone involved in the cover-up of what has been done unto me. Again, none of this stuff it's all lies. It's all criminality. What they're finding him guilty of it's called aggravated manslaughter of a child. That's a first-degree felony. Because Donald Smith should have never, ever, ever been released. Because the state attorney, Terrence Martin, stopped being attorney when he filed all the false paperwork about to and before the Honorable Mallory D. Cooper, to and before the Fourth Circuit County Court, according to the court record book, January 6, 1998, when they can't even produce any kind of document that says I've ever committed a criminal act, because, again, I have never committed a criminal act. I'm not a criminal. I have nothing to hide. That's why I say my phone is going to ring. Now, the question that you have to ask yourself is this. If they've done this to me, what makes you think that they're not willing to do it to you? Does that sound like a law enforcement officer? Does that sound like a judge to you? Who knew what? A whole bunch of people knew what. Knew a whole bunch of people. A whole bunch of people. Because I sent it in. Mallory Cooper, you've been knowing about this since July 21st, 2015. You were still in office when I mailed it to your office. You didn't get it? Well, you know about it now because I called you up and left you 2 voicemails on your telephone. No one's called me back yet. Yet! Somebody's going to call me back. Y'all have run out of road. You need to hurry up and sentence Donald Smith. Because, again, I'm going to get the 20 years of my life that was stolen from me back. And all of you fakes, all of you frauds, all of you counterfeits are going to go to prison. Not says me. That's not my opinion. So says the law. That's fact. And I'm not going to be the ones that's going to tell the 3 Thornton women that it's not their fault. You all are going to go and tell the 3 Thornton women, because the 3 Thornton women believe that it's their fault that Cherish Periwinkle was kidnapped, raped, and murdered. Again, folks, this is what happens when you overlook. This is what happens when you have fakes and frauds and counterfeits in positions of godly authority. Well, guess what? It's coming to a head. It's coming to a head. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do anything except keep telling the truth, keep reporting these crimes. I don't have to explain anything. I have nothing to hide. They are the ones who have something to hide. And for all of you people who are saying, oh, they're going to come take you out, I'm still sitting in the same spot. I'm still saying the same thing. And I ain't worried in the least bit. All they can do is be a nuisance to me. And you know what? I know that once this is removed, all of these fakes, all of these frauds, all of these counterfeits, all of these threats are removed, then I know that justice, everybody's going to be a whole lot better off. Because then all the excuses, then there will be no more overlooking. We're tired of the overlooking. But most importantly of all, us law-abiding citizens are tired of being lied to. But even more so than that, we are tired of being lied about. Think about that. Again, it's all a lie. You want to shut me up? You can't shut me up. Bring out this arrest and booking report. I got a better one for you. Bring out this arrest and booking report that says that I was arrested for lewd and lascivious sexual battery. And then I got an even better one for you. Bring out the victim. Oh, you can't do either because this is a lie. And because it's listed here, that makes it a crime. Over and done with, folks. It's time for you to choose. Are you gonna sit there and keep overlooking? Because if you're going to keep doing that, then what's going to happen is Almighty God's just going to move over to the next person. He's going to keep moving along until he comes across other people just like me who are not afraid to tell the truth, who are not afraid of the big bad bully, who are standing for truth, for justice, for law, and who are willing to do whatever needs to be done, legally and lawfully, to remove the threat. And all you got to do, law-abiding citizen, is just demand that the laws be applied, that the laws be enforced. That's what's going on in the country today. Now you need to choose. You need to choose. Are you going to keep overlooking and be left behind? Are you going to keep overlooking and be part of the problem? Or are you going to demand, as a law-abiding citizen, that the threats be removed and that our laws be applied? You and only you can answer that question. And that, my friend, is the reason why I say my phone has not rung yet. Just saying.